All right. Hello and welcome. We're here on OEGlobal Live, and we are doing a demo Wednesday. And I'm really excited to have with me in this studio Susanne Grimm from the OERInfo project, who's the person going to be doing with us a live demo of the OER World Map. I'm really excited to see this again. So welcome, and how are you doing this morning? And I'm so excited for you to have here and do show us the map.
Hi, Ellen. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the invitation. Yeah, here it's 5 p.m. actually. It's late in the evening, and but I'm very happy to be here and to talk about and show and demonstrate the OER World Map as it is right now.
Yes, and I do remember the old OER map, and it's all there, which is really exciting. And so, would you like to say anything first about the map, or should we talk as we show the map?
Yeah, I mean, you wrote in your introduction that the OER World Map exists since 2014, and I just wanted to say one or three words about the creation, and then we can just switch over to the world map about objectives and how to browse, how to search and filter, and how to enter data.
Mm-hmm.
So, in your introduction, you wrote that the OER World Map exists since 2014, and many of you who are watching this might probably know the OER World Map. It was built and run until 2022, actually, by Jan Neumann and his team at HBZ, together with Graph Thinking and in association with the Open University UK, and funded by the Hewlett Foundation. And the OER World Map, as it is, was since the beginning integrated into our platform, the OERInfo platform, which is the central platform on OER for Germany. Yeah, and during that time, in 2018, for example, the map won the OE award in the category Open Innovation, I believe. That's all. Yeah, owned by Jan Neumann and his team. Now, if the world map wasn't offline for the last 2 years or so, it would actually celebrate 10 years anniversary, I believe in November. But yeah, the world map was offline the last year, so we have to postpone the party for the 10th year of jubileum for 2 years now. Yeah, and since 2023, the map is now currently further developed by OERInfo, together with innovation and funded by the German Federal Ministry of Education and Research. We went back online in May this year, 15th of May exactly. And yeah, we would like to continue the success story of the world map. And I'm quite aware of the huge footsteps I have to fill, and I hopefully be able to do that.
Oh, no problem. It's just exciting to see the map. So, shall we start with a tour? Because
Yeah, let's do
I'm
that.
yeah, I know for sure that it's something that we always hear that people want, is like they desire a place to see what is happening around the world in open education. And so we're looking at the map right now.
Yes, there it is. First of all, I want to say that the OER World Map, as it is right now, is still a preview. We have still some bugs and glitches to solve, and there are 1 or 2 functions still missing, like the daily statistics. But yeah, we're running since May. And yeah, to tell you something about the objective of the map, generally speaking, what our goal is with the map is to connect people all over the world who are into OER and open education, to connect them so they are able to share their experience, their information, their data, and to get in contact with each other. And yeah, as you said, the OER World Map is the place on the web where anyone can expand their knowledge, share information and experience, collect data on OER initiatives, and the possible ways how to interact with the map. I would like to show you right now how to find the works of others, the entries that already exist, and how to make your work visible on the map.
Excellent. And so technically it would be what would be a referatory, because the things that people add are going to be represented elsewhere on the
Right. We're not a repository, but we're a referatory. Which means you can't upload documents onto to the world map, but you can link to other places. That's something we were always asked for, but I come to that in a second. So let's have a look at the map as it is right now.
There it
So,
is.
There it is. Yeah. The map is currently available in German and English, and that's the first glitch there is to report it. It jumps back to German as it is, so I have to choose English as a language. And as you can see, the map is visualized as a heat map, meaning that the more luscious the green is at the countries, the more entries there are in for the countries. Which doesn't mean that there is nothing going on in Russia concerning OER, or in China. It's just that there's no entries so far.
Right.
And I also think that the many gathering dots in Germany and Europe is because we don't have so vast rural areas like the tundra in Russia, or the outbacks in Australia, or La Pampa in Argentina, or other vaster countries that have rural outbacks. Okay, so let's imagine that you are new to OER, to the OER world, and you don't have a specific interest yet, but you want to get to know initiatives and projects worldwide concerning OER. So you could just browse the map by, for example, clicking on any country given on the map. And beforehand, we talked about which country we would want to visit. And since I always wanted to visit Australia, and since I've never been there, and since I'm unfortunately not going to be in Australia for the OEGlobal 2024, I thought of visiting Australia.
Yeah.
So if you put your cursor on a country, or there is a little map showing altogether the people, the services, and so forth we are gathering.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you click on the country, the map zooms in, so it's easier to click on the single dots, which are the entries actually.
Right.
Now you could click on one of the dots or the other ones, but you also could use this functions to search for services, for example, or for tools, for events. And as we said, OEGlobal conference 2024 is going to happen in Australia. Let's see if we have an entry on the conference so far.
I hope
so
we do.
We do. It seems we do. Now we could click on the dot, and there's the entry of the OEGlobal 2024 conference where the magic happens. It's located in Queensland, Australia. You can see the date, starting date. You can see some information on the conference. You can see the conference language, the hashtag, and other informations like the organizers of the conference, like Open Education Consortium and the University of Southern Queensland. You can see presenters which have themselves connected to the conference. So
Okay.
these presenters you can find here on the map are already registered and have profiles on the map, and they connect themselves, their profiles, with the conference. So I'm quite sure there's more presenters than Leo and Stephen.
Yes.
So I would wish or ask any other given presenter on that conference to register to the map and to set up a profile. I'm going to show you how to do that and connect themselves to the conference. You can also see people attending.
Mhm.
Oh, that's you, Alan.
And
Attending the
Stephen.
and Stephen as well. So this is, I think, a nice function of the map for others to see who is going to be at that conference. Not only speakers, but also people attending the conference. So if you always wanted to meet Alan in person, you know now that that he's going to be at the OEGlobal conference in Australia, and that you can meet him there.
So let me understand. So if I have an account or an entry on the OER World Map, I can go in myself and say I'm going to this conference. But I'd imagine there might be some way that a conference organizer could give you the information on people attending, and you could list them if they match entries in the World Map space.
The thing is that we can do entries on organizations, projects, and so forth, but in terms of data security, we aren't able to do entries on people.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
that's the little teeny tiny problem we have right there. The people would need to register and to set up a profile on their own.
Right.
Okay. So there's that. Let's go back to the map. Now we're still in Australia. There's not so many entries in Australia, so I would say let's go somewhere else on the map. To go back, you just have to click default, and now there's another glitch which I recognized just today. I would want the map to zoom back out right now. That doesn't happen. That's a glitch we still have to solve.
That's okay. We get to see the map again.
So where else do you want to go visit?
Oh, I don't know. How about let's go to Brazil?
Brazil. So there's a lot of entries.
Yeah. Look at all that.
Yeah. So there is singular dots for singular entries, but there's also singular dots for several entries, or sometimes dots are overlapping because they're located at the very same place. So you could at that point click on the area and zoom further in, but still there's two entries on one dot. Now you could just click on one, or you could even change from map viewing to list viewing.
Okay.
That's also an interesting function, I think. Yeah, as I said, you could as well search for, if you're searching for services in order to find OER for your math lecture next Tuesday, or if you are searching for tools to produce OER, you could just use these icons to search for singular entries, or you could search for singular entries via this function, searching for categories like projects and so forth in higher education. You could search for teachers, like, for example, you want to get in contact with other teachers who are working with OER to connect with them and to exchange your ideas. You could search for the primary sector, like elementary sector or school sector, higher sector, like for the subject. Very interesting, especially in terms of services like repositories and repositories.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what can say more about what kind of things that already exist for services? You mentioned repositories and referatories. What else would fall under that category?
Yeah, that would be actually another way to search the map. Now we just had a look on how to browse the
Mm-hmm.
map when you still don't have a certain idea of what you're looking for. But if you have a clear idea of what you're looking for, you could either use the search function here, or you could move your cursor on the tab Find, and there you have all the categories. All the entries we're gathering about organizations, persons, services, policies, projects, tools, and events. And the bigger categories like organizations have subcategories. Like you wanted to know what we can understand under services. So services can be repositories, referatories, authoring tools, learning platforms, and so forth.
Right, right. And I remember that there was a lot of effort to organize open education policies through some other projects. And so it's very good that the map is available again for that to be collected, because that's very important.
Yes, it is. And I know that there's people and projects who, during the time the OER World Map was offline, went on collecting.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, for example, people from North Rhine-Westphalia or from regions in Germany, that they gathered the policies which came up during that time. So, and in order to not have to enter those collections single-handedly again into the OER World Map, we want to try and enter them on an automatic way.
Hmm. All right. How about let's go to where I am. I'm in Canada.
You're in Canada. So where are you at in Canada?
Uh, in the middle, in Saskatchewan, in where, yeah.
So that must be you, right?
No,
No, it
that's not
isn't.
me. That's the University of Saskatchewan, where they do great open education work. A fantastic colleague named Heather Ross there does really brilliant work with OER and open textbooks and open pedagogy.
Yeah, and you could click on that entry and have a look at that entry,
Yeah.
and I can see right now that there's not so much information on that entry, which is another problem I actually want to talk about. But let's first show how to do entries.
Yeah. Let's get to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I
But
imagine
I
that's
want
there.
to do something else. Actually, I
Yeah.
want to search for the University of Saskatchewan and people related to it. Let's see.
I imagine it's there because of that policy document, which was ends up with a basic map link for the university. Yeah.
Yeah. So now there's, you can see if you search the University of Saskatchewan via the search, you can see that there's other people related or other entries related to that entry. So the OER strategic plan you already mentioned is related to
Yeah.
University of Saskatchewan, and you seem to be related to the university as well.
I know them. I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about we could look for there's an organization in British Columbia, a BC campus with no space. BC campus. BC campus. Yeah. They don't have a space, but there it is. Yeah. No, you got it. The second link there.
Okay, so there's 25 entries on that.
Yeah. I'd imagine that's because they have an open textbook publishing platform, and other places in the country, people have probably remixed or contributed content that appears there. So that's kind of interesting example how things are related.
Right. And at that point, I actually prefer not to click on the singular points, but to switch to the list mode
Okay.
to see all the entries. So there's
Yeah.
this open textbook project you talked about.
Right.
There was a textbook summit in
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
people related to
Yeah.
it.
Christina Henricks at University of British Columbia. I know her.
Okay. Do you know Jördis
Yeah.
Weiland? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting because that way you can see the different ways that information on the map is cross-related.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let's get to how can people get onto the map.
Yeah. No, okay. So how to add information
Right.
to the map? What I want to say beforehand is that I always understood the map as community project, which means it's a project from the community for the community, which
Mhm.
means the community is collecting data in order for others from the community to get to know about it. So it's not only that you can find information on the map and browse for it. To enter the map itself and to browse for the information, you don't have to be registered. But to be able to enter information, you need to be registered.
Mhm.
And the first thing I would say before you enter any organizations, projects, events, and so forth, I would recommend to set up an own profile, because people in OER are more important, I would say, than the institutions and the projects they stand for. Because without the people, there is no project, no organization. So, in order to show you how to set up a profile, I would say let's have a look at my profile. Now that's the entering mask for your profile. You can here enter your name
Mhm.
in any given language. There's a lot of languages you can choose from, around about 200 languages.
Right.
Then you're asked to give a short biography. I would always recommend to not only input the biography in your own language, which could be Hindi or I don't know, but also to put it to enter it into English in an English version, so everybody can understand it, since English is lingua franca. Then you're
I
asked to. Sorry?
just will say we have a good colleague, Jonathan Poritz, who's in Italy. He lives there now, and he just said that he's following along. He's updated his profile, and so Jonathan's on the map in Italy because previously he was in Colorado. Hello, Jonathan.
That sounds great. I was hoping for that, actually. I was hoping for that at that moment. Okay, so after your name and a short biography, you're asked to enter your location. So the location, as you can imagine, is the most important thing on the map, actually. We're not able to locate, to pinpoint the various dots to the various location if you don't put in your location. So but if you don't want to put in your street name and street number, you don't have to do that. It would be sufficient to enter country, region, and town.
Mm-hmm.
So the entry would at least be able to be pinpointed to the town, and then from there you can somehow move the dot if you want. I'm actually over here, more or less. I'm here.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay.
You don't usually get that kind of feature in a map. And I would strongly encourage, like, for the most part, it would make sense to have the city or state or region, if it's possible, and country, because you want to be seen on the world map, not necessarily, you don't want to put your house or your home location.
No.
But a university location would be fine. Or,
right.
If you want to put yourself in the middle of the river, that's fine. For the most part, it's where you are in the region that probably matters the most.
Yeah, I think with organizations, projects, and so forth, it's not such a barrier to put the very street number and name into the map. But I can understand somehow that private people don't want to give their direct address into the map. So I'm one of those. I just put the city into the map and moved that dot right here now. So I'm in the outskirts of Cologne in a area called Mülheim. And Mülheim, right?
Practicing.
And I worked primarily in the further education sector, but then moved on to the vocational education sector. But now, as coordinator of OERInfo, I'm more or less working cross-sectoral. So
right.
you're able to choose your primary educational sector, and I'm actually not into editing mode, or am I?
That's okay.
No, it's okay. Yeah, like in primary educational sector, you can choose only one, which could be cross-sector, and then you wouldn't have to choose a secondary educational sector. Right. So person type is a little bit, I don't know if it's the perfect translation of the idea of that function. So it's about the role you have in context with OER. So I'm more or less of a consultant. I give a lot of workshops as well. So I could add, I'm not really a teacher. Of course, we're all students, we're all learners, but I'm more of a consultant, I would say.
It's always problematic to create meaningful categories, so you do the best you can. This is something that you might come back to fill out completely. Ideally, you'd want to see it, but what is the basic information that you're asked for when you first enter the OER World Map?
All the fields signaled with this star are mandatory.
Okay.
Which is like a handful. But in the beginning, we also ask for information which is quickly on hand. Mm-hmm. So I already set up my profile, but if you first set up your profile, there's like 5 or 6 maybe positions you have to fill in, and then you could decide at that point to press publish, and your information would be on the map instantaneously, and you could come back and refill it. But now, since I already put up my profile, the whole mask is open. So, of course, we need an email from you because we want to get people together to be able to contact each other. Social media profiles, if you're active on social media. I'm not very active on social media right now. What we have new at this point is publications. Before before the time, we also collected publications and stories, but we decided that we wanted to reduce the functions and the data we are collecting on the OER World Map. So we decided we're not going to collect stories and publications anymore. But at that point, we decided that people doing their profiles can connect publications to their profile, because it's there's so many platforms like ResearchGate and other platforms which gather publications, and at that point we thought that it would be more would make more sense that people could connect to their own publications at that point.
Yeah, that is a complex aspect to be able to both maintain and carry forward.
Yeah. So profile picture you wanted to add, and there's something we saw at the entry for the OEGlobal for the OEGlobal conference. So here you could search for events which are already on the map and connect them in the sense of you're attending. And the next position would be presenter ad. So during that time, I went to a lot of conferences and presented, gave workshops, and so forth. So I connected all the conference I was presenting at with my profile. I'm affiliated with DIPF Leibniz Institute for Research and Information in Education. I'm affiliated with the German Education Survey, with OERInfo, and the Bündnis Freie Bildung, and that's where the connections come in for the map. So that would be important as well.
Perhaps a side question. If, say, I had previously entered information for myself in the map in 2016 or so, and my email was at an institution I no longer have access to, is there a way to get that updated?
Yes, if you when we took over the map, we did an onboarding. So we sent an email to all the registered people on the map. We asked them to renew their account, and but if you already had an account at the OER World Map, you just have to renew your password, and then you're good to go. You can always change your profile. You can always edit your profile. Actually, at that point, if you're logged into the OER World Map, if you're registered and logged into the OER World Map, you can edit any entry given at the OER World Map. I know it's somehow
interesting.
Yeah,
it's like a wiki.
We are discussing this point right now, but the problem is that there's a lot of entries made by people about organizations others are affiliated with, and the organizations are growing, they are expanding, they are changing their goals and stuff like that. So in order to be able to actualize these entries, before that time you had to be the owner of the entry, and since a lot of people who did entries didn't come back to the OER World Map at that point, we had to think of a possibility to be able to rewrite entries at that point. So if there is more activity on the world map further on, we will have to discuss that point again. But at that time, we don't see a security problem at that point. So some people might think there's a security problem. People would be able to change entries as they want, but I don't think that that's the problem actually.
Yeah, we'll just all behave. So obviously, we want people to get set up. Let's say I've gotten interested and I'm all set up. What would you like to see people do next?
Well, I would like to see people come back to the OER World Map, because there's a lot of registered people who didn't come back. I mean, I'm obviously people are changing their interest fields. Maybe they're not anymore into OER, but I can imagine that there's a lot of people out there who already had a profile and are still working in OER and open education. So I would wish them to come back and to come back to their entries and go on gathering data.
Right.
To be able to show the ever-growing movements of OER worldwide, and to be able to show the connections of projects and institutions worldwide.
Oh yes. Okay, but can we go back to Australia for a second? Let's say and maybe just zoom out a little bit so we can see the region.
Which region do you want to see?
Oh, just zoom out on the map a little bit. I just want to say, for like just on the map zoom, maybe just add a little bit so we can maybe see a bit of New Zealand and
okay.
And maybe a little bit of
a region. Sorry. Right.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, so let's say we're when we're at the conference and we want to say, okay, let's get some dots on the map. We'll suggest people obviously create the accounts. What would be the next thing that they should do if they have a service or an event or an OER that they would like to have appear on their location in the map?
Yeah. So what would be absolutely great is that if everyone who is going to attend the OEGlobal 2024 in Brisbane, Australia, it is, would register into the map, put on a profile, also enter their organizations and the projects they're working on, services they're offering, maybe some events they're doing. But what would be very interesting would be that they would connect their profile, as I showed you, to the conference in Brisbane. That would be a great idea, actually.
All right.
And as you can see, there's still a lot of space in Australia for that to happen, and in the region. There's a lot going on in India, actually, but I would be very interested in the attendees of the OEGlobal in Brisbane, actually, where they come from, what they're doing, what they're offering. That would be very interesting, actually.
Okay, so the challenge is on to get the map covered with more dots, people going to OEGlobal, and of course people who are not. You can still add your locations and be part of this great project. I know we had some other topics in there, and I was curious about that. There is some mention, of course, because it's a thing that people talk about. There's some work behind the scenes for some kind of artificial intelligence aspects. Can you at least tease us with what that might be?
Yeah, I can tease a little bit. That would be a
Okay.
good idea because, yeah. So, as we already saw, the problem is that there is a lot of entries which are which are incomplete, which have just names and not not more information on short biographies, for example, or what the institution is about and where the institution is situated. So the idea is that our colleague Shachla, who is our IT specialist in the project, is going to extract all the information on the OER World Map to check on the missing
Mhm.
information, and doing a data analysis of the OER World Map database using Python libraries, machine learning, and after finding the missing information in the entries, the idea is to use AI tools to research the missing information in the web and to later integrate it into the OER World Map back.
All right, that's fantastic. Oh, so this is really exciting. I know that there's so much to cover with the map, and obviously we want to get people interested enough to start. Uh, it's quite the undertaking to try to organize the world and all the information in it. But we're so glad that OERInfo is on this project. Um, Anything else that you want to like add as an appeal for a reason or what people? Obviously, you made it clear that we want people to be able to make sure that individually they're part of it and that their work and projects are recommended. What else can people? Would you like to see people do?
There's other possibilities to interact with the world map as it is. There is the possibility to enter single-handedly information on the connections you're working in, but there for the future there should also be the possibility to upload data automatically. So if somebody out there has bigger collections of data, like we talked about, Alan, the OEGlobal awards and all the OER and open assets of the OE Week archives,
Mhm.
we would like to enter them automatically into the world map. But in order to do that, we would have to get our protocols for that straight. So there are protocols to transfer third-party contents, but we would have to get them straight beforehand. But you can always contact us via support@oerworldmap.org
Mhm.
if you are interested to upload your data collections into the OER World Map.
Right.
What could be interesting also is that you can't only upload data into the OER World Map and browse it and also retrieve it for your own necessities. Regarding the retrieval, what could be interesting is that we from OER World Map, from OERInfo, are using the OER World Map for our OER calendar. So our OER calendar is based on the entries of events of the OER World Map.
Mhm.
We have an open API. If you're interested to do that for your platform, you could just go on the entry of the OER World Map. There you can find the open API or contact us, and we're going to help you for that. But what's a matter of my heart, actually, what I wanted to talk about is the translation of the OER World Map.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Let's hear about that.
we said that the OER World Map is currently available in German and English, but I would want to open it up to further languages, so that non-native speakers and diverse linguistic communities could use the OER World Map. Right now, it's based. It's basically open for everyone by Google Translate. So if you enter the map, Google Translate would offer you a translation into your language according to your to your location.
Mhm.
But regarding to the quality of the output of Google Translate, I would like to and also as a form of community building a measure, I would like to translate the OER World Map into, let's say, the 5 biggest or the 5 most spoken languages in the world, like Chinese, Mandarin, Hindi,
Mhm.
like Spanish. I talked with people from Latin America. They would wish that the world map would be translated into Spanish, because lots of people in rural areas don't speak English. So I see it as a necessity to translate the OER world map into the 5 biggest languages. And because of that, we are currently searching for, let's say, godparents who are responsible for the translation, who are not necessarily going to do the translations, but are yeah, choreographing the translation. Like in the past, Telamil was responsible for the Portuguese translation.
Right.
Unfortunately, we can't use it anymore because we changed a lot of things on the OER World Map. So what he did was integrate the translation into his lectures. Not he did the translation, but his students did the translation. So I, for my part, studied English and Spanish. Don't tell anybody. But for translation, so I'm better in writing than in speaking. And at my during my studies, I would have wished for such a project,
Mhm.
actually, and an actual translation of an actual project, what's going on right now, where you can have an impact actually during doing those translations. That's I think that's a great idea, to somehow integrate it into lectures. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
something we're searching for, and I would be it would make me really happy if people who are interested in participating in that would contact us again via support@oerworldmap.org.
All
You
right.
find the email at the platform.
That would be fantastic, and that would be what you're describing. What Till did is a great example of an open pedagogy project where
Hmm.
students are contributing. So that's always a viable option. Thank you so much, Susanna, for this tour of the map. It's really exciting to see, and we will do everything we can to to fill in a lot of those spaces on Australia and the region surrounding there from the conference next coming up next month.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you very much. And so, again, this is another one of our live demo sessions. We have another one later today. It'll be early in the morning for Germany, but we have Delmar Larson doing a LibreText demo of the ADAPT system, and that'll be exciting too. So, many thanks again to you and the team, Susanna.
I hope for a lot of entries during the next days and weeks to come.
All right. Well, the challenge is out there.